It's finally here. The final football week of the regular season has arrived. Notre Dame is headed to USC this weekend, and I am so fired up to wrap up the regular season of Notre Dame football. This week's edition of Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com, was actually filmed prior to the Shamrock Series game. We recorded this about a week ago, but we had some great conversations, as we always do. Tight end Mitchell Evans came by. He's an Ohio native, so we talked to him and Coach Freeman about their roots. And then, of course, Isaiah Dunn came in and grilled him and actually also added a new, exciting game to our repertoire. Learned a lot about Mitchell Evans in Dunn in a Minute. It was really fun to listen to that. Then later in the show, Brock Wright, Notre Dame tight end, who's having a great year with the Detroit Lions. It was great to catch up with him and hear about everything they're doing. They have a great chance to win the NFC and maybe, just maybe, go to the Super Bowl and give Detroit what it's been craving for years. So awesome conversation with all those guys. Again, this was recorded prior to the Shamrock Series game in New York, but now here we go, everybody. We are so close to the end of the season. It's always a great rivalry week when Notre Dame gets to go out to L.A. and play USC to wrap up the regular season. So I can't wait for that. And in the interim, I can't wait for you to hear this conversation on Wake Up the Echoes. Okay, Coach, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Back on the couch, you brought another guy from Ohio, Mitchell Evans.
Yeah.
First time on the show. I'm kind of surprised. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Okay, tell me about the Ohio bond here. I feel like you guys have to have a special, closer bond because of the home state, right?
And anytime you get outside of Ohio, like all people from Ohio stick together.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a great state. You know, we're raised a certain way.
What is that way, Mitchell? What's the Ohio way to be raised?
Tough. I mean,
well,
it is. There it is. Let's just high. It's always about like high school football. Every conversation always comes back to like high school football if you're from Ohio or somewhere in the Midwest. So
was it Wadsworth? Is
yeah,
that what it is? Okay, so tell me about Wadsworth. What does everyone know Wadsworth as?
Well, we weren't very good at football for the longest time. But I mean, we're a pretty big school. What division? We're Division I now. When I played, we were Division II, and then my first year here.
I don't even know if I heard of Wadsworth until you were a recruit.
Yeah, I was the first like recruited kid, I think, since like the early 2000s. Yeah. I think we had a running back go to like I think Akron or something like that. Yeah. But we had Mr. Football my freshman year. That's what we had a new head coach. Justin Todd took over the program. He just like completely changed it. Wow. Now we're like a pretty good football school.
So you were part of the revolution.
Yeah.
Kind of take them. And so Division I, is that the highest level? Okay, yeah. In Washington, it's kind of backwards where it's like where I grew up. 4A is the highest, then 3A.
Most places are like that.
Yeah.
Where the higher number, it's Division I's the highest, and like the lowest is like 7 or 8. Yeah.
Okay. So then when you were in high school, were you just kind of pretty dominant then, based on what I'm hearing as being one of the first Division I high-level recruits? You must have been pretty good.
Like my team, are you talking about like me individually?
Yeah, you individually.
No, I was okay. My junior year, I was hurt. I didn't play varsity until my junior year.
Okay.
And I was hurt, kind of. I had a back problem all junior year. That's why I played tight end. And then my senior year was the COVID year and all that stuff, and
right.
I actually got switched to quarterback.
Yeah.
And then I think in the regular season, we had like a game or two canceled because of COVID and all that stuff. And we went like 2-8 or 2-6. And everyone made the playoffs that year. And so we won our first game, and then we got obliterated by Avon Lake. But so I think we went 3-7 that year. But
did Notre Dame come after you late?
Yeah, it was after my junior year in that like spring, summertime-ish. I think I got the offer in like May.
Okay.
I committed.
I was going to say, you were going for him at Cincinnati, right? So what was that process like?
I mean, I wasn't the main one recruiting him. I just know he was one of the bigger names in the state. And we were trying to get him. I think we had a thought that maybe we could. And then all of a sudden, as I'm leaving to go to Notre Dame, I heard that the Mitchell Evans guy from Wadsworth is going to Notre Dame. And we kind of showed up here together, right, around the same time.
So the Ohio guys then find each other and do the secret handshake, the tough secret handshake?
Yeah. We can't tell you about that.
Okay. I don't need to know.
Yeah.
What was the experience like? Because you came in, you said, was it the COVID year had just happened, right? The 2020, you came in, was it right after on the back end of that?
Yeah.
When you were a freshman?
I came in that spring, early enrolled.
So you early enrolled. Yeah. So what was that like? Because I was just thinking back, because your career's, you're on that in your senior year, and you guys are freshmen that are coming in at a really weird time. Just what was the experience like trying to assimilate into college football and Notre Dame at that time?
Well, one, it was tough because it was kind of like the back end of COVID, so there was still a bunch of like COVID protocols and all that stuff. So that was actually, I think we got there middle of January. That was my first time like meeting all the coaches in person. So during all recruitment, I had never met any coaches in person. I didn't go to any camps, didn't come here at all. I came here once with my family, just kind of like walked around campus. But like coming, like I signed my letter, got here, and then we had a team meeting and all that stuff. That was the first time I ever, shook John McNulty's hand and all that stuff. But it was crazy. We had, 5 a.m. wake ups, going with workout with Coach Bayless and stuff. It was crazy. I was like, what the heck? I should still be in high school. I was 17 still. It was a crazy experience.
What do you remember from that year? Because you took a new job during that time, and that has to be a weird transition, just coming to a new place when, like you said, there's a lot of different protocols you think back to.
Yeah,
that's a tough way to start a new job.
It was the same thing Mitch said. Like, we had a lot of COVID protocols. We were all spread out. You're at a new place, new staff, just figuring it all out. Did you redshirt?
No, I didn't. I didn't, because it was that summer and all that stuff. Kind of like it opened up and all that stuff, and in camp we were good, and then in that fall or the first game, Florida State, Kevin got hurt.
Gotcha.
And
putting you under center eventually, right?
Yeah, like later the next year and stuff. Yeah. But I was.
Was that Mitch Palooza?
Yeah, that was my sophomore year and stuff.
So that was sophomore year. What was your reaction when that got inserted and that was part of the playbook?
I mean, I've told this a couple times, but like Coach Reese sent me a text. It was a little graphic, and it said Mitchapalooza is like party at 7:30 or something. I'm like, what the heck? I had no idea what was going on. And then later that day in meetings and stuff, he's like, hey, we're trying to put in like a little QB sneak just to get a couple yards if it's 4th and short, if we need first down, whatever. And then it became a big thing. I don't know. I wasn't really expecting that. So
I love the ability to kind of be willing to go in any position throughout your college career. We've talked about, I don't know, you remember Avery Davis?
Yeah,
that name.
Yeah.
Played like 4 or 5 positions, and like to me, he's one of my favorite players that's ever been here because he was just willing to do whatever the team needed him to do. I want to shift a little bit. This is going to air right after Shamrock Series at Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
But I just want to know, I think you're one of the models for the jersey. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, we did back in, what was that, like July, I think, or something. We did some stuff.
So did you have eyes on the jersey?
Yeah, anybody else was a model?
Oh, yes, it was a model. Me, BMO, and X. We did some stuff here, some photo shoots, and just did some poses, and
They were in the middle?
I don't know. They had us do some weird shoot. Felt like
you were in the middle or not?
No. We had a bunch of photos. I mean, we were doing they had us doing like action shots of like dancing. It was weird. I don't know. But it was fun.
You like the uniforms?
They're awesome. I think they're by far my favorite Shamrock series.
I think they're pretty slick. Yeah. I like the gold patch has been on the shoulder all year this year, but I just like the gold look is clean with the blue. I never asked you this. How much input do you get, Coach, on the uniforms? They run it by you, or you just?
Oh, they show me. I don't. Man, there's so many other things I got to look at. I want those guys to like them. Like,
okay.
It doesn't, what I like, it really does not matter. What they like. That's why I let them pick out, hey, when do you want to wear green? What do you want to wear for the game? Because those are the guys that wear them. And, I don't really care what they wear. I want them to just go play well.
Yeah. I'll be curious to get your input when you're done playing in Yankee Stadium. But this is a cool run here, in my opinion, because they're going to have Yankee Stadium and the Coliseum. I got a stat. I have sources here that hook me up with all kinds of stats. Notre Dame's played in 14 NFL stadiums at this point. You played in a bunch of cool venues. Just as you kind of reflect upon your time at Notre Dame, obviously Notre Dame Stadium's great, but when you think about the NFL venues and all the cool places that come to mind, what are the places that you've loved playing in the most?
Well, I feel like Ireland is like its own category because who gets to go to Ireland to play football? That's awesome. That whole experience was cool. We had like Irish dance team come out, and we had an Irish meal. They were dancing for us. That was awesome. Dev Houston getting up there on the stage. That was a time. So I think that's its own separate category. But I guess like NFL stadiums. When we played the Gator Bowl down in Jacksonville, I don't know what it was, but that field, that atmosphere was it was fun. It was a great field.
That's why I remember that one
because he played well.
Yeah, they said you're on the right guy. Probably does help, but no, just it felt like a away game because we were playing South Carolina, so close right to them, and the stadium was just like filled like red, and it was so loud, and they were doing all the Talos stuff. It was so fun. So to have the game kind of go the way it did, it was really electric down there.
Is there one that comes to mind for you, Coach?
I love the Vegas Stadium. I thought that was really cool.
Right.
the Shamrock Series game versus BYU. I thought Atlanta was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Atlanta was cool.
I mean, all those NFL stadiums, like even the Ravens and MetLife, like I know they're outdoor stadiums, but they're all, man, it's a different feel. It's interesting. Some of the players, as you talk to them, they're not always the biggest fans of them. You know, I remember meeting with the captains, and they were like, yeah, sometimes the NFL stadiums, you don't get that college atmosphere, but I think they're great, man. I love playing in those or coaching in those NFL stadiums.
So I do the games with Ryan Harris, and he said, I don't know how much this is hyperbole or not, so I'll ask a player who's right here. He said guys will go in, and they will go to the locker room, and they'll point to a locker and say, that's going to be my locker 3 years from now at, let's say, MetLife, when I'm playing for the Jets or Giants. Anybody go into the locker room at one of these NFL stadiums and pick out their locker for when they make it to the NFL?
I don't think so. I've never done that. I don't think we're in like their. Are we in like when we go to the stadium? Are we like in their locker room? I thought,
but most time we're the away.
I think there's a couple.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
then when I'm on the Chargers playing the Jets, this is gonna be my away locker, is what he says they do.
Yeah. When we were going to MetLife and we were walking in, I remember seeing a huge like the Jets mural or logo on there. So I thought we were in their locker. I'm always pretty like, oh, this is the Jets locker room here. I'm like, okay, I thought it'd be a little bit nicer, a little bit, but no, we were just in
So you're going to go see
random away locker.
Aaron Judge's locker? If we're in their locker room? I don't know if we're in their locker room.
Yeah, how is that working? Because is there a locker room? I was just having a conversation with somebody. I think it was Kev. And I'm like, where are we going to like be? Like, is there a locker room big enough to hold our entire team? Or
And there's nobody. The last time you guys played there was 2018. And so Kaiser, who I'm thinking of, was on the 19 team.
Yeah.
So there's probably nobody. There's definitely staff members that will know what to do. I'm sure you guys will be well prepared, but I don't know where you guys will be. I'll be curious.
I think we are going to be in their home locker because I remember they said, hey, Aaron Boone said you can use his locker, but you got to get him a signed helmet, which I've met Aaron Boone. He's great. But I was in the Yankees locker room when we went I think it was this summer. It's big. It's plenty big enough.
Okay.
You know, now it's not like there's 100 lockers in there, but they'll figure it out, but the locker room is plenty big enough.
Wow, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really cool. I want to know about your knee and just the process. It's been about a year when we're recording this, right? Since you tore it, touch more?
A year and like 2 or 3 weeks.
A year and 2 or 3 weeks. I've been able to talk to a lot of injured athletes in my time on campus, and everyone's experience is very different. And then there's obviously some through lines and similarities. Just what's it been like for you to come back from that? It's been great to see you get in the end zone a couple times recently as well. It seems like you're feeling good, but just that whole process, it takes a long time. Just how's it been for you, and what comes to mind when you think about the last year?
Well, yeah, I'll go all back like to when I got hurt. So like last year, I was playing probably the best ball I've ever played in my career. And then to kind of be just kind of taken away at the, flash, it was kind of like, oh wow, that kind of sucked. That feeling really didn't hit me until like probably a month in of after surgery. When I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, I'm really like, I can't move. Like I physically, like I felt powerless. I felt like weak and all that stuff, just like as a person. And, but with all that, like, that happened. We lost like our offense coordinator, so I didn't have like my coach. So I had to like we were in the process of getting a new coach on stuff. So I had to build a relationship with our new coach. But luckily I already had a relationship with him a little bit from recruiting stuff. But
he was at Cincinnati.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, so it's kind of like But that process in the summer, or in the winter, we hired Coach Lando and all that stuff, which was perfect because he was my knee savior. I don't know, in the workout stuff, he got me right. He got me feeling the best I've ever felt. And throughout the whole rehab process, Rob Hunt's been phenomenal, and his staff, they've been great. But just kind of like persevering and working and all that stuff, and the whole trajectory of like my knee, like they kept telling me like you're gonna have days where you're like climbing, you're gonna feel really good, really good, really good. And then all of a sudden, it's just gonna feel like you're gonna have horrible days. You're gonna be like your knee like is back to like how it felt before. Like, oh my god, it hurts so bad. Like all this different stuff. But it's gonna be like
they prepared you for
they were telling me. And I'm like, and also I was talking to like Kev, who's gone through a couple. Eli, like our room has gone through a couple, pretty big knee surgeries and stuff. So I was just talking to them, kind of gathering like what they went through and all that stuff. And so they were really supportive too. But now I feel like I started playing ball at, I think, just before 10 months. Like A&M I was 10 just before 10 months. So I feel like even doing that was pretty remarkable for what I was like being able to play Division I football in an environment like that for not playing for 7 months, really. Like, I mean, because I didn't do spring ball. I think I got cleared like a week and a half before that, really. So I just started kind of practicing like team reps and stuff. So to go out there and kind of just be able to like play at 10 months was like, that was awesome. So I felt like that was a good moment for myself to be like, hey, I can do this still. Like, this isn't going to, make me a shell of a person or the shell of the player I'm going to be. And, I just kind of think I've progressed, like my confidence, my ability, and gotten stronger as the season's going on. So
I can hear like the mental battle that it was just in that answer, which is fascinating. I hear that from a lot of athletes, and I want to know, Coach, because I think we had Coach Ivy on here a couple weeks ago, and Cass Prosper, who was injured last year. They talked about the challenges, or at least what a coach has to do in relation to an injured player. And like, you've got a great staff, obviously, that does a ton of work with him. But as the head coach, what do you have to be mindful of when you have a team? And injuries always happen in any sport. When there's an injured player like Mitchell, who was playing great last year and he's got to go through this battle, like, what do you have to always be aware of, knowing that you have 100 guys and some of them are going to be injured going through this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think, one, you want to be there for them when they're maybe at their lowest moments. I remember going to see Mitchell at his house, his apartment, right after surgery, and spending some time with him. And I want him to know we care about him, and that we support him. And, there's also a process of him having to go through the healing process on his own, right, with the athletic trainers and the weight room. I think for me, the thing I learned with him, everybody's different, but with Mitchell was the minute they cleared him for fall camp, it was like, okay, Mitch is back. But he wasn't the Mitch he is now. And I think that took some adjustment for me when you put expectations on somebody.
Yeah. Right.
I expected the minute we got into fall camp, Mitchell was going to be the same Mitchell that got hurt right before he got hurt last year. But what you've seen is the progression from fall camp to week 1 to where we're at now. Like, he's finally getting to the point where he's the player he was last year.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't expect him to be that guy the minute they come back. And we all know Mitchell's a great player, but you can't just put those expectations on him. You got to let him work his way back. And I said this last week, the last game we played, I can't remember, was it Florida State? Yeah, Florida State. I remember after that game saying, I thought it, but Coach Denbrock, confirmed it. Like, that was the most complete game Mitchell Evans has played this season, and he's finally getting healthy.
Yeah.
Right? He's finally getting healthy, and he followed it up with this week having a great game. And it's great to have this version of him back, but it takes time. It takes time. And just because he's clear doesn't mean he's going to be 100%, but he's helped us all season long, and now he's having that production to go along with it.
Did you have to do that too? Like, early in the season, have that realization, like, I'm back and it's a great accomplishment to be on the field, but maybe I don't have necessarily what I had when I went down. Like, what's that like in your head when you get on the field, but you're maybe not where you thought you'd be?
Yeah. Obviously I was, getting cleared, getting the playoffs. I'm like, oh yeah, all right, let's go. And you get out there, it's like, whoa, like, I have a new knee. Like, I'm just getting used to it. I had to learn how to run again. I had to learn how to cut. I had to learn how to jump. I had to learn how to play football again, which was tough because it was pretty much in season because I didn't have spring. I didn't have all this time to do it because I got hurt, at the end of the season. So, like, just the timing was, I didn't have the whole off season to kind of get prepared again and get rehab or like, just get back to normal. I had to kind of like get cleared and boom, it's A&M. So it's like, my first real like live reps were like that week of A&M. Like, I mean, like physically, like unrestricted, like, hey, like you're good to go. Like, we're taking the training wheels off in a way. But yeah, like coming back, like, like I was always told, like, it's going to feel a little different when you're first kind of coming back. You're going to be probably asked the game way more sore than you've ever been, more tired, more fatigued. I'm like, no, I'll be fine. And then, oh my God, that Sunday after A&M, I only played like, I think like 10 snaps. But I was like, holy crap. Like, I felt shot. I felt tired. I felt like I just, played 70 snaps like I was doing the year before. But honestly, as like the next week and the week after that, I just still increased my workload. And I felt better each week. I got more confidence. I mean, I gained more confidence in my knee. And I just felt great as the season's gone on. So
Okay. I have a hard pivot to a completely different topic now. Okay. I want to talk about dogs.
Oh God.
Do you have a dog?
Yes.
Okay.
You have a dog in college?
Franz?
Yep.
Tell me about Franz.
All right. He just hit 1 year. He's 1 year old golden doodle.
Okay. This is a new dog.
Yes, he's a puppy. And
Just hit 1 year. So you got the dog right after the ACL around that time?
Yeah, when did I get him? Yeah. I got him. His birthday is like October something. October 27th, I think. We just celebrated it. Yeah, I got a mistake. But no, my girlfriend Maeve, she's been in my ear about like, oh my God, dogs are, they're always wanting something, like when they like always talk about it and kind of like nudge, not like say they directly like want it, but like they just like, oh, they talk about it a lot, they show you
A lot of AG reels are getting sent your way.
yeah, like, and the next thing I know, my whole feed is like a golden doodle. So, yes, she was like kind of in my ear about it, and I was like, yeah, fine, you know what, you're right. We're getting into a spot. You know what? I want a dog. I've always wanted. I never had a dog growing up. I'm allergic to him, so that's why I had to end up getting the golden doodle. But, got Franz. His name was Franz from like the place that we got him from the breeders. So I was like, you know what? I thought about changing it, but I'm like, I've never heard of a dog named Franz, so I'm gonna keep it. It's pretty cool.
Isn't there?
And everyone was telling me there's a skit from
Hans and Franz?
Yeah, SNL.
Well, yeah.
It's like,
Gotta pump you up.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I'm like, I've never heard of that. So I've never heard of it. So, but
You too.
okay, yeah. So I'll probably look that up one day. But yeah, he's a golden doodle. He's crazy. I love him. He's a pain in my butt though sometimes. So,
Yeah.
but I love him. So,
Coach, do you guys have a dog as well?
Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple of them.
A couple dogs.
Yeah.
And so that's 6 kids and a couple dogs.
Yeah, 6 kids wasn't enough,
Okay, I'm going to throw a theory at you guys here real quick. I'm probably going to get arrows coming at me from offset, but here we go. So I'm not anti-dog.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm fine with dogs. I'm just pro-cat. What do you guys think of cats? Because there's a lot of, I don't want to call it propaganda out there, but there's just a lot of messaging. It goes to our youth in particular. I think it starts at a young age. It's really bad. That for some reason, dogs are man's best friend, or whatever you want to call them, and cats are these creatures that just sit in the corner and they're mean and they're nasty. But I've always loved cats. We had cats growing up, and I don't know. I'm team cat when it comes to cats and dogs. What do you think about my opinion on cats versus dogs? I hesitate to ask this because I'm talking to 2 dogs, but where do you guys stand on cats?
oh, I grew up with cats. I had 2 cats growing up. I found they're like 14. They're old. They're like 14 and I think 16 now. But Patch is an Oreo, so one's a calico and one is black and white. So you can tell I was like 6 when I named them. So my sister and I found Patches underneath my neighbor's like porch or something. So
Rescued.
yeah, she was legit this big. I mean, she was tiny.
Yeah.
So I got her. And then we named her, took her in and all that stuff. I've loved her. She's awesome. She's a good. They're both great cats. They're both, they're not mean. I mean, I'll rile them up a little bit. So that's when they get rowdy and stuff. But no, they're good. They're not skittish. They don't like run away when somebody comes in the house. But they're good. They'll lay out.
You see through the propaganda.
Yeah, like that's all. Yeah, all that. All
You have any experience with cats?
No. I'm allergic to cats. And I didn't know this until we never had a cat. We had a dog. I always say, I've told this to the team, we had a real dog growing up.
Oh, what is that?
You know what I mean? I tell my kids and I tell our players, the dogs that I have, they're doodles. Like this,
yeah.
and those dogs are great. I said, we had a real dog growing up.
Okay.
And because I remember telling the players, I can't remember what game it was, but I was like, real dogs hunt. And that's where real dogs hunt. I grew up with a real dog, but our dog stayed outside. He was an outside dog. He didn't come inside. And when it got really cold outside, he was allowed to go into the laundry room, outside the house, through the garage to the laundry room and sleep. And then he would go back outside in the morning to he had a pit, gravel pit.
A pit?
And he was on a leash.
Like a landlot?
Yeah. And every once in a while, we'll come home, that long leash would be broken. He must have saw something that he wanted. But he would come back. He was loyal. He would come back home. But that's a real dog, man.
You said this in the locker room to the team?
Oh, this was in a pregame. I don't know if you were there. It was last year, the last game of the year. right around the last game. It was an away game, so you might not be in there because
Yeah. That was
And I remember telling him, like,
Stout.
real dogs hunt. And I remember, like, I was talking about my dog, you know?
That's my dog.
That was my dog.
That's
you know?
my dog.
I said, these dude dogs, like, I was like, these my doodles that we have, like,
Yeah, there's no thought. And they're not. They're they're happy to be, in your presence. They sound about all they care
But
about.
I do believe they're man's best friend
Okay.
or woman's best friend. Because, like, my dog, when I come home, every night, he comes to the door. He just is happy to see me. Now, I'll give him a treat. He waits till I get in bed, and he goes on his way. But, like, he doesn't talk. He just listens. He's loyal. That's why he's man's best friend. Like, he'll sit right here.
So can I counter?
Yeah.
From a cat point of view.
Because I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's fine. I totally respect what you just said. The cat's affection is earned, whereas dogs, I think they just give it out willy-nilly. And so there's something about cats, like I almost admire that they withhold affection. And once you have it, what an accomplishment, what a bond we've established. Whereas the dog, yeah, you show up with the treat, barks and loves you. That's kind of, it's very, I don't know. It just doesn't feel as like you've gone through enough to get there. Yeah. It's almost like any dog would do that. Now I will say, I haven't thought of this, what you just laid out with about like a real dog and like real dogs hunt. I now maybe am recategorizing how I think about dogs, and there's levels to all this, but that's a lot to chew on.
Yeah.
Real shit. I didn't even see what I did there. Oh boy, that's tough. Okay, Coach, that's a great note for us to end on with you. You're going to stick around, Mitchell, with Isaiah, but I learned a lot. I think we should start printing the shirts. Real dogs hunt.
Real dogs.
That's a good theme for this year.
It's a good brand, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break.
Do a message.
We'll come right back. Okay, we're back, and Isaiah Dunn is here. Great to see you again, man.
It's great to see you guys.
Okay, this is our tire rack spinning our wheels segment. We're going to spin the wheel in a second, and Mitchell will do it, but we have a special game we want to play beforehand, Isaiah. Why don't you lay it on me?
We're going to call this Done in a Minute. So you're going to have 25 questions, rapid fire, to answer in under 1 minute.
So okay, I got 25 questions in a minute. I don't think that's possible.
It is.
But
you can do it. I believe in you.
Okay, you ready?
Are you ready? Let me get in like a ready stance.
Okay, stand by.
Countdown.
3, 2, 1, go.
Toughest stadium you've played in.
Virginia Tech.
Best touchdown celebration.
The dab.
Favorite pregame snack.
Uncrustable.
Kickers or punters, who has more swag?
Kickers.
Dasani water or Coke?
Coke.
Who's the funniest teammate?
J-Love.
Go-to pump-up song.
Pump it up. Indoor.
If you were a substitute teacher, what course would you teach?
History.
Favorite route.
Corner.
Best ping pong player on the team.
Jabron.
Go-to TV show.
Suits.
Favorite childhood nickname.
Stillwell.
30 seconds.
Aliens, real or not?
Fake.
LeBron or MJ?
LeBron.
Text or call?
What?
Text or call?
Oh, call.
Biggest pet peeve?
Chewing with your mouth open.
Favorite cereal?
Lucky Charms.
Favorite color uniforms?
The Shamrock series.
If you're on America's Got Talent, which would you rather sing or dance?
Dance.
10.
Do it. I'm kidding.
What?
Putting or driving?
Driver.
If you had to pick a coach to spend a vacation with, who do you pick?
Seabass.
Pirates or Cowboys?
Cowboys.
Santa or Tooth Fairy?
Santa.
Pick an instrument, what would you play?
The trombone.
Tie or bow tie?
Tie.
Good job.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys took a minute and 12 seconds. So, good effort, though.
That was solid.
That was pretty good.
Good job.
That was really good teamwork, actually, to get all that.
I couldn't think of it.
Great work with the verbiage. Okay, I'm trying to think now. There's a lot to unpack.
There were a lot. I heard aliens. No, you didn't believe. It does not.
No, they are. Yes.
Oh, you did.
I was just trying to think of. It was like the first thing in my mind, but I actually am I mean, there has to be, right? There has to be.
But you said fake.
I did.
You said fake.
I said fake. Oh, no. Well, because there's a lot of. I mean, I was probably thinking because there's a lot of fake, videos out there and stuff. But no, I'm a firm believer. Area 51 is holding aliens and UFOs are real. Yeah.
Oh, we're going that way. Okay.
Did you say sing or dance?
Dance. Yes, dance. I can't say. I can't.
Notice you went MJ LeBron, Ohio guy. Should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
Right.
What else did you have in there? I like favorite route, corner route.
Yeah.
You want it back pylon, go up, or what? Do you think?
Well, I just feel like it's the best chance to have a 50-50 ball, because I don't really run fades. Well, I ran a fade, but outside number one,
Did you get your touchdown?
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, I'm not like usually outside number one running a go ball and then you just throw it up, but that's like the corner ball is like my
Toughest stadium you played in, you said.
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
That was because it was my freshman year. It was like my first time, like not starting, but I played a lot because Mike got hurt. He went downhill, groin issue, whatever. So it was me and Takis were playing a lot. He was 11 personnel. I was 11 personnel. We'd go back and forth. It's Virginia Tech. It's loud. Enter Sandman, all the whole 9 yards. Yeah, that was
Snap count's tough to hear.
Oh yeah,
You're silent.
Yeah, it was insane. But it was really nerve wracking because we were in the locker room and they're playing Enter Sandman and like sand is or like dust is coming from the ceiling. So like as a freshman, I'm like, what am I getting into? Like it was scary.
Wow. Anything else that stuck out?
What was the course you wanted to teach? If you
History.
Yeah.
I'm a history major, so I just love it.
In that history class, do you teach them about Area 51 and all the stuff that's being it?
No, I mean, it depends on. Depends. I'm more of like a World War II like buff history, like war. That's what I like to kind of learn about and talk about. But
and I agree with the J Love one. J Love's hysterical.
He doesn't talk much, but when he does, it's usually funny.
Do you know the animal that we asked him to pick an animal that he compare himself to?
Right.
If you had to guess the animal for J Love.
Like a cheetah or something.
Bingo.
Yeah. It's like a tiger. Cheetah.
Well, actually, yeah, kangaroo is the other part because the leaping ability. So what was it? A kanga cheetah?
There's a kanga cheetah.
Yeah.
Or a kanga. What's the other one? There's two.
Jaguar.
Kanga cheetah.
Kanga cheetah. All right, let's now spin our wheels. Presented by TireRack.com. Why don't you go give that wheel a spin?
I spin it.
Great job, by the way. I think Dunn in a minute could be back. Maybe it's called Dunn in a minute and 12 seconds next time. But yeah,
someone probably can be.
Yeah, you got to spin this harder than you think.
What's it for? Like
for what game we play?
Okay,
really spin.
That's a good.
I mean, you really spin.
Who said that?
Who said this?
The arrow.
That's okay. I told you to spin it too hard. Okay, this is so I think we've had some really good this or that's, but we kind of just had a this or that. So I'm glad we didn't get that. Done some good drafts. This one, who said this? It's all over the map sometimes.
It is.
This is, just so you know, these are captions from your teammates. I think primarily Instagram that they've put out.
So do you like post and it's like the Instagram?
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know.
And sometimes our guests know right away, and sometimes they have no clue. And we're just going to, I guess, learn how good of a teammate you are. Okay. So who said this? Just so you know, he has the widest range here. It's been in the last month.
Oh.
So like week one, whoever our guest was, it was just like after the first game, a little bit easier. But here you go. Okay. Who said this? Quote, stakes getting higher.
Stakes getting higher. Can I ask if it's like offensive side or defensive side?
I will allow you to ask that, yeah.
Okay, offense. So what side is it?
Offensive side.
It's okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Stakes are higher. I think it was Riley.
I'll wait until you give me an actual answer, and we can lock it in. And I'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
JT, no. I'm just gonna go J Love.
That'd be incorrect. Do you have a guess?
Chris Mitchell?
No, we don't actually have a lot of this, but I like that we mixed in an offensive lineman. Any guess on offensive line?
Rocco?
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
Rocco Spindler.
I don't think he posted. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to.
I was surprised. I thought offensive line would be like locked
in a month.
It's last month, so a lot can happen in a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, here's a good one.
Oh, he did just post. Yeah.
Quote, shout out to our defense.
That's something. I think J Love will just.
What's going to be offense?
I know, but I feel like
right.
I feel like
This could be anybody. It doesn't have to be just offense. They're not all just on one side of the ball.
Well, I don't think
just anybody. Shout out to our defense. Good point. You're right. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I think it's off. It has to be offense. So.
Shouting out yourself. I got you.
Which wouldn't make sense. There's also special teams.
Not Riley, I don't think. No, it's another O lineman. So I think that category's out.
That's a good right. Why do
I didn't say it.
Okay.
Did I? No, I didn't say it.
No, you're not going to get anything out of me.
No, definitely no tight ends.
Okay.
Running back.
I need an answer.
My first, okay. I'm always like thinking to J Love, so J Love probably.
That'd be incorrect.
Aeneas?
Incorrect. Riley Leonard. You were on track, and then you just missed it.
What?
Hey, I don't make these up. These are from your teammates. I'm not in the locker room. Okay, I like this one. I don't quite know what it means, but I like it. It's just ambiguous enough for me. Quote: "Be where your feet are."
That's
Not beware, but be where your feet are.
Oh, beware.
No.
be
Where your feet.
yeah. Sorry.
Who's on first?
That's crazy. Chris Mitchell.
No.
Beware. It's gonna be defense because we've had.
Oh, I keep thinking off. Okay.
Be where your feet are. Riley Mills.
I need you there.
Don.
It's usually
No.
a Don. That's a good pick. 'Cause it's often a Don.
Freshman. Defense.
Bodie.
Carson.
No.
It's gotta be. It's
Pick
definitely a DB.
against
It's definitely a DB.
Leonard Moore.
I was gonna say like
What do you think that means? Be where your feet are.
Present.
be present. Yeah, just be in the moment. Be in the moment. He's a freshman.
That's
Like,
a-
you know what? I'm a freshman.
I really couldn't figure it out. Hey, man, you guys help me out there. So be where your feet are. Like, where are your feet? They're
Yeah.
in the moment.
In the moment.
That's a good one. Okay, last one.
There's a lot.
Pretty straightforward here. Shady's back.
Me. I just posted. I wanted to do the it was my first touchdown, so I was like, Shady's back, and I used an Eminem song for like my highlight tape last year. It's probably, I don't know if I should say that.
Good.
Copyright. I don't know.
He's a fan.
I know, but I'm just saying my Instagram like take it down, whatever. But I used the Eminem song, "Lose Yourself," like because for like the highlight tape. It was cool.
You were born what year?
03.
So that song I think came out in like 03.
Yeah,
which is crazy. That song came out. Biggest song.
Yeah, it was a great song. But then I just used what's the song called? I used Shady's back. What's it called? Without
Me.
Yeah, Without Me. But I used the clip.
No.
Yes, it was back.
Yeah.
Shady's back. Yeah, because I just scored a touchdown, my first touchdown. So yeah, sad dude.
Guys, all right, he got his own, which is a big step. Sometimes guys come on here and don't get their own. Great job. Way to spin your wheels.
Good job.
Let's take a break, and we'll come right back.
Let's do it.
All right, we are back. Great job on that last segment. You handled 2 games pretty well, Mitchell Evans. I'm impressed. Isaiah, this is our Cooler Conversations segment. As you know, you're familiar. It's presented by Yeti. You've been working on that Dasani. Do you need a refresher?
No, I'm good. I'm on my second one though, but I'm good.
I'd love my Dasani Warner.
Yep.
Thank you.
Coming your way. All right, I've still got mine. I'm working on it as well. But this is where Isaiah kind of just takes away. I might chime in, but steer the ship.
Mitch, I'm so excited to have you.
That's fair. Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Coming on. My first question is about Notre Dame and how special it is. What do you think separates Notre Dame from all the other universities?
Well, I feel like these is like a basic answer, but one, like the combination of football, academics, and like faith, and like just the brand Notre Dame represents. That's the best university. I think that encompasses all that. So I think that's the basic generic answer. But this one, I think you can agree upon is just the brotherhood that Notre Dame like represents. You're a part of it every single day, man. There's so many like good stories that just happen, like in like just the midst of just being around each other in the locker room, and that place is awesome. But yeah, I just say the brotherhood that this school represents, this team represents. It's truly remarkable.
So I got to chime in.
Right.
I think that the thing that I am most jealous of when I talk to athletes like you guys, or even Coach Freeman, is that you get to be part of a locker room. And so whether it's Coach Ivy or any of the teams on campus, like that's a thing that I was only able to be a part of through high school. And so like I talked to Coach Freeman about it, like he still gets to be a part of it as he gets older and older. I think that's why people get into coaching for all kinds of reasons, and you can impact people in a lot of ways. But I just come back to like being in the locker room and being a part of that is something you can't replicate anywhere else.
You can't.
And once you're done and you don't have any more, it's just gone. And so I think that to be aware of that is great. And you guys should, I'm just telling you, soak it up as long as you can, because you can't replicate it anywhere else.
Right. I think this is super funny timing. Last week, I was talking to Kennedy Urlacher, and we were sitting down. He's across from me in the locker room, and there's so many chaotic things going on, but super funny. People are arguing, but probably about ping pong. We have a ping pong table. And it's a big argument about ping pong table. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But me and KU were talking, and we go, do you remember when you guys first got here compared to now? And he's talking about how close we all got and how much of a family we are. And it's truly special. When you look around, it's somewhere that we just feel so much of that brotherhood that you talk about. And it's rare to find, for sure.
How do you get guys acclimated so quickly then, Mitch? Because like Kennedy's he's been on campus. Was he here in the spring or was he a fall?
I can't remember. He was early.
He's in the spring. Okay. He's been here for almost a year.
Yeah,
but still, like, it seems like a lot's happened in that time. How do you make sure the young guys, because you've gone through it, feel like that when they get to this point in the year?
I'd say for one, just kind of be in their ear a little bit because we've walked the walk that they're doing like for the first time. We have already done it for 3 years. So like I kind of, give them little tips and tricks on how to do some things. But like just kind of make them feel like, they're not like an outcast. Yeah, they just got here. Yes, they kind of have to like kind of learn on their own how to kind of like, well, one, they're now going to be an adult. So they're going to be on their own for the first time, away from home, whatever. But just kind of helping them throughout the process a little bit, like making them feel like they're not alone. Because like I said, like what's a brotherhood? Like we're all in this together. We all kind of want one goal. So however we can to help each other to do that. So.
Good. I would agree. You hit the nail. Leading into my next question, what has been your favorite Notre Dame experience so far?
Notre Dame experience. Oh my gosh.
And it can be football related. Does not have to be. Up to you.
Oh my gosh. I'm like blanking.
Can't pick Dunn in a minute.
Yeah, I know that was great.
Yeah.
I know how fantastic that was.
I don't know. I'm gonna say football related because that's a lot of what I do. Well, it involves the student stuff. I think just a football game after we beat Clemson and we stormed the field. I know that's like frowned upon, whatever, but that's the best time I've ever had when we stormed the field. It's awesome. Just it's the whole student body, all the people, all the fans, the whole team was just celebrating together after a win like that. Shout out Bo because he was on that team. I know we always bring it up.
Let me get off the field quick.
Yeah. No, but he's always high spirited about it. But no, that time was a fun time, and even with USC, that was a fun time too. Just seeing all your friends down there. After USC, I ran into some of my friends, that don't play sports, but so that was a cool time. So I'd just say that, and also just the player walk. That's another one. The player walk is just so fun.
I'm gonna point out a theme here.
Yeah.
The things you pointed to are, again, things you can't replicate
Yeah.
after this, right? Player walk. People don't high-five me on the way to do this show. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't come in with people saying, like, good luck out there, good luck talking.
We can set that up. We could. We can get.
What if we got the team out? That'd be great for the last show. And then same, again, I talk about storming the field, but like in no other world are you celebrating with your classmates after like the biggest win of the year. It just doesn't happen. So like that's why I think those come to mind when I talk to former athletes. It's just those things that you just know you can never get back. It was, I think our first show ever last year, Mike Golick Jr. was talking about running out of the tunnel. He's just like, that you just can't do it again. And it's just like, I think about it all the time, and it's pretty cool. I'm jealous.
We can get it set up. Got you. Okay. My last and final question. It's actually more of a fun one. Okay.
All right.
I know I bothered you a lot today.
Okay.
There's one more to finish this off. If you were stranded on an island and you're relying on teammates to survive, who are you picking? But I'm giving you two options, so you don't really have to. You have to pick option A or option B.
Okay.
Option A, Riley Leonard, Benjamin Morrison, Devin Houston, and Jeremiah Love. Option B, Howard Cross, Emil Wagner, Deion Colsey, and Jaden Thomas.
Oh no!
I need to know why.
Number one, already off the rip. I don't even have to think about that because JT and Deion together, I'm dead in an hour. It's no for a fact. No, put them together. No, because JT and Deion together is just the combinations. It's a bad combination.
What's wrong with those two together?
It's funny.
It's not bad. No, they're hilarious. I've been with here. We came in together.
Those are the two. If you want to have the funniest show, those are the
That-
two. Let's
Then what I'm in right now, let's get
No, that would be hilarious. I'm talking
at the same time.
no.
I'll just leave.
When I talk about the brotherhood, like they are some of the people that's like they're in every moment that I can remember. That they're good to be around the good guys, but also I mean that's considered a serious situation. I would not want them in a serious situation like that. And if my life depended on it, like I got to survive for whatever, we would be dead. Like
See, I was going to ask a clarification question.
Right.
Because you said you need to get off the deserted island.
Yep.
Because Because I think if you're just like stranded forever, like a Gilligan's Island thing, I might take the guys that are going to crack me up for the rest of the time. But if I'm trying to get off, yes. So the way you phrase it, we're trying to get off, then you can't have the guys distracting. But if I'm stuck, are you going? If you're stuck, there's no way out.
You're stuck.
Yeah, I'd still say number one though, because Riley's from the South. Fish, and it's a big thing. He's a good fisherman. I know it's all kind of like luck with how you catch fish, but he knows a lot of tricks.
It's all luck. Another
fisher, bro.
Another one of his conspiracy theories just thrown at us.
I don't know if I'm in a room with fishermen, but I'm not a fisher. But I mean, I think you just kind of sit there and wait, and a lucky fish, get bait. But yeah, Riley's good at that. I guess. Who was the first one?
Benjamin Moore.
BMO.
And then you have I don't know what he's.
I don't know.
Devin Houston and Jeremiah Love were those.
Houston, he can make us laugh. That'd be good. That's entertainment there. And then J Love.
Yeah.
J Love might find
J Love.
He might go off and come back with
how big island if there's like other animals on it. You know what I'm saying?
Why is that changing?
Because I think J Love could just hawk down like a cheetah. Just like chase it down. Just like
he might be friends. The famous animal.
I play. Be friends. He can tame a cheetah. Yeah. Like the cheetah would hunt for us.
He would have.
I feel like he just has
cheetah whisperer.
Yeah, he is. Because he didn't talk that much, or he'd would just make it happen.
All comes full circle to our conversation about cats. They're more valuable than you really think. That's a great note to end on.
That was my final question.
What was your final question?
That was it.
That was it. Yeah, you got it. You did a great job. Mitchell Evans, thanks so much for coming by.
Yeah,
great to talk to you. Isaiah, always a blast. I look forward to next week when you set up the player walk for me.
We got get the high fives going. Thank you for having us.
Let's take a break. All right, we're now joined by Detroit Lions tight end, 9-1 Detroit Lions, Brock Wright. Thanks so much for swinging by. Wake up the Echoes. Let's just start with how you guys are playing this year. I looked at the box score yesterday, 52-6. You got into the end zone. Just what's it been like to be with the Lions this year? You guys are playing great football.
It's been a blast. Like we were talking about before the show, one of my buddies on the team said the other day, it feels like in some of these games we're on a college team again, where we're putting up a lot of points and offense is rolling, defense is playing really well. So it makes it a lot of fun.
It's been, the last year and a half, really, the Detroit Lions, I think, been one of the best stories in all of sports, quite frankly, the way you guys have turned it around. What's it been like to just be in that city as the Lions have kind of taken off and you guys have taken that next step? It just seems to me like the city has rallied around you guys in a way that's pretty unique in sports. What's it been like to be a part of that whole process?
It's so cool. It's really special because my rookie year here, it was a rocky start. I came in when Coach Campbell came in his first year, so it was a new regime, a lot of new players, and we were 3-13-1, I believe. So, going from Notre Dame, having a lot of success there to struggling at first, and then we kind of started slowly gaining momentum. Started winning more games last year, made it to the NFC Championship, and then now having a lot of success early in this season. So it's cool to see how the organization's able to turn around, and then how the city, the fan base has kind of followed suit. Is so cool. The support here in the city is amazing. Such a great fan base. So it's really cool to be a part of and kind of see the transition in the 4 years I've been here.
I'm sure you get this a fair amount, but I need to at least try. What is it about playing for Dan Campbell that is unique or special? It does seem like everyone loves to play for the guy. Just what's your experience been like, and can you share any tidbits about him that might enlighten us?
Yeah, he's just the ultimate leader. I mean, the exact type of guy that you want to be at the head of your organization. It starts with his knowledge of the game and the fact that he played for a long time. He was a gritty, smart player. And then just kind of the way he leads, he's perfect for the Detroit Lions. He's just the kind of guy that you want to run this organization. Him and Brad Holmes do an amazing job of bringing in the right people. And yeah, I just think he's one of those guys that, he's the perfect combination of intimidation, but smart, and so, like I said, he's perfect for us.
I want to know about the transition. You said now you're 4 in the NFL, and I think it's been great. We've had a lot of guys that are, whether or not they're your age, Brock, they're current NFL players that are a couple years in or a few years down the line. And it's been interesting to hear the different answers to what the biggest adjustment you had to make. So now that you've got some separation from being in college, What's maybe the one or two things that you really weren't expecting or really had to be aware of early on to make the adjustment from the college to the pro level?
Yeah, I think the obvious changes are the speed of the game and physicality, things like that. You know that you're going to be going up against the guys that were the best players in college, people that are hungry, fighting for a job and whatnot. So I'd say the biggest change is more the mental side of the game, just kind of increasing your football IQ. For me, it's been every year just trying to learn more and more how to decipher defenses, kind of understand how the defensive side of the ball works, because in doing that, it makes my job easier as a tight end, because we have to be able to do a lot of things in both the run game and pass game. So the more I'm able to understand coverages or what the defensive line is doing, their front, I'd say that's the biggest difference.
You mentioned earlier that it feels like you're on a college team right now with the scores 52-6 the other day. Notre Dame's put up a couple 50 burgers as of late. I do want to know what you miss most then about being at Notre Dame in the college atmosphere, because I do get the sense, as fun as the NFL is, a lot of the guys I talk to, there is still this element of you kind of yearn for or miss the days of being on the campus and being part of the Notre Dame experience. So when you think back to your time at Notre Dame, what are the things that you miss most about being here?
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. I just played, we played the Texans last weekend down in Houston, and I got to see Kurt Heinisch, who's one of my teammates, one of my roommates, and played Tampa Bay game, week 2 of the season, and saw Robert Hainsey, another one of my roommates back at Notre Dame. So, I mean, I miss those guys the most, being on Napoleon Street, right off of campus, right down from Notre Dame Ave. Those things, just being with those guys, you miss the bond of the special guys that Notre Dame had. So those are the things I look back to the most.
Yeah, I've heard from a lot of people that when you get to the NFL, it's a professional job and guys have families they go home to. You can't replicate whether it's being in dorms or apartments and ordering pizza at midnight together.
Yeah,
that's right. When you think about your time here, I think right away to a couple of college football playoff appearances. And something I was interested in was specifically 2018, because just so you know, this will air right before the USC game. It's going to be a big game. You guys had to beat USC to get into that first playoff on the road in 2018. And there was a ton of hype and energy around you guys that year. What do you remember from just being in the locker room that week, getting ready for a game like that? What are the biggest keys when you're in a moment like you have a chance to really put the finishing touches on a regular season, but you got to stay the course? Just what comes to mind when you think of that time here on campus?
Yeah, it's almost like a playoff game now for us in the NFL, kind of what we're going into last season. It's kind of when you get into the tournament, it's all in. So it's basically it's 1 week, you win or you're done. So when the mentality is like that, you just pour everything into it. So going into, it's obvious, it's easy to get up for a game like USC with the rivalry and everything. But when there's that much on the line, there's even more that comes to it. So I think it's just everyone buying in fully and just knowing that you got to do whatever it takes to try and get that win.
Okay, I want to try to settle a debate here. I've heard different people give me a different answer. I've heard Notre Dame referred to as tight end U, and I've heard it referred to as O-line U. Okay, now I imagine you're slightly biased, but where do you come down on the tight end U versus O-line U moniker?
Well, there's so much discussion among NFL players, among NFL tight ends, to tight end U is. So I hear more about that. And I mean, I think numbers wise, it's obvious that it's us.
Who else is making a case out there for tight end U then, if it's not you guys?
I mean, the Iowa guys are making the biggest push right now, just from the guys they have currently in the league. Some Pro Bowlers, the guys that are studs. But I still think that if you look at pure numbers, we're on top.
Depth. There's very more depth.
Depth, guys that are still doing it. You look at the history of tight ends, going back to, Mark Bavaro, Anthony Fasano, and guys like that. We've been doing it for a long time. So I'm extremely biased, but I think we're definitely tight end U. But then when it comes to offensive line U, I mean, I played with a lot of guys that are still playing in the NFL when I was at Notre Dame. Mike McGlinchey, Quentin Nelson, Robert Hainsey. I played with Tommy Kramer for a few years here in Detroit. So I think you can make a case for both.
Wow, so you're going to ride the fence. You're not going to plant a flag. Are you going to say it's tight end U?
I'm going to say it's tight end U.
Okay, good. I'm glad we got you on the record for that one. Is there a tight end group chat What does it look like in the NFL? Because you got Kmet there now. You have Michael Mayer. Is there a tight end group chat at all for Notre Dame, or is that not running yet?
I might need to start one. We all keep tabs on each other. And they started doing this cool thing every year down in Nashville called Tight End University. And we always get to catch up with the guys there, so that's cool. Got to see Tommy Tremble last year, and I'm always in touch with Cole, so it's always good to see the guys.
What is your experience now following Notre Dame? I know you said Saturdays are busy, but when Notre Dame is playing, does the phone light up a little bit more? Is there discussion amongst the guys that you were with about how things are going? Just what is that like now that you are, every year you go by, I imagine you become more and more of a fan because you are less and less directly attached to some of the guys on the roster. So what's that experience like for you now?
That's what's weird. I mean, there's still a few guys on the team that I played with, which is kind of crazy to think about. And it might be a little bit weird whenever there's none left. The coaching staff's completely different now, so it is more like I'm a fan. And yeah, it's hard to tune in all the time, but when we're on the road and whatnot. But I always at least check in on the score and see how the guys are doing. I know Robert Hainsey was back in town the other day, and one of my group chats from our buddies from the dorms lit up because they sent a photo of him on the big screen. So it's fun to see that. But yeah, it's great. It's fun because it's a way to stay in touch with the guys, not only guys that I played with, but also, guys that were just regular students from the dorms. So always good to hear from those guys as well.
To your point, Hainsey was on the board, just like getting them all fired up. And it got pretty loud. He did a good job getting them going.
That's great. He's a juice man. I love it.
The last one I have for you is just about maybe a piece of advice you'd give to a current or maybe even prospective tight end or just Notre Dame football player about what to make sure they do during their time at Notre Dame. I talked to all kinds of athletes and they say, if I could go back, I'd do this, or I'd make sure to savor this. When you think about what you would tell someone that's either starting the Notre Dame process or is in it right now, what's maybe one piece of advice you'd give someone?
I'd say just work on improving on the small things, the little details, fundamentals every single day. So things for me now that I work on still every single day are things like footwork and pad level, hand placement, stuff like that. So if you just detail that, focus on getting better every single day at those things, I think everything will take care of itself.
Well, Brock, I appreciate you stopping by. Great to see you. We're having a blast watching you guys on Sundays. Keep up the great work out there in Detroit, and hopefully we're watching you guys make a deep run in the playoffs.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Good catching up.
That'll wrap up this week's edition of Wake Up the Echoes presented by TireRack.com. Thanks again to all of our guests, from Marcus Freeman to Isaiah Dunn, Mitchell Evans, and Brock Wright. It was great chatting with them. All right, one final game in the regular season against USC this week. We cannot wait for that. And also prior to that, make sure to have yourself a very happy Thanksgiving. Until next week, we'll talk to you next time on Wake Up the Echoes.